Making the rounds on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, etc. is this photo with a stockpile of Fusion Strike hits and a salacious story about how they were stolen and why it's the cause of Fusion Strike's low hit rates. There's a lot of speculation and anger about the photo, so let's break it down. First of all, this happened well over a year ago. Even the photo is now leaked and it's making the rounds. The theft allegedly occurred in California, and the attempt to sell the cards took place with an LGS in the Dallas, Texas area. The photo is taken at Trading Card World in Dallas, Texas, and if you compare the flooring in the picture to the flooring on their Google page, it's a clear match. I reached out to the shop on Sunday to confirm if the story was true. They did nicely reply and say it was in fact true and that it happened long ago. With the story disseminating rapidly, they likely got contacted a lot and felt forced to release what happened. So since then, they posted an official statement, and it goes like this. Many of you recently heard a story involving stolen Fusion Strike hits in Trading Card World. Although the release of this information is unfortunate, the truth of the subject is as follows. TCW was approached by an individual inquiring if we were interested in purchasing hits from the set. TCW reviewed pics from the seller and advised that they were either fake or stolen. Realizing the amount of packs it would have required to obtain that quantity of hits, it seemed clear that one or the other was true. The seller explained his connection to the source, and TCW immediately contacted Pokemon Corp through proper channels. The information was sent up the corporate ladder, given the seriousness of the situation. A high-ranking Pokemon official contacted TCW. Pokemon Corp and TCW worked together to successfully retrieve and return the cards. Pokemon acknowledged Trading Card World for their critical contribution to the recovery of these stolen items. It was the largest return of stolen property to date. Trading Card World was asked to keep this information confidential while an active investigation was underway. With respect to that request, TCW has kept the story and their important involvement out of the spotlight. I hope you can appreciate the sensational aspect of the story and help to keep the facts straight while publicity seekers look to gain attention with misleading information. Pokemon World and Trading Card World are committed to the safety and well-being of our members and the community at large. So there you have it. Everything else you've read or heard is pure speculation. There's no proof these were QC cards. There's no proof these impacted pull rates. You could even call into question everything I just said, read, and the leaked photos. Maybe it's all fake. But let's assume the statement from the store is real. How did it affect you, you're wondering? I'm sure, like me, you're infuriated at the money you spent on Fusion Strike, struggling to pull anything, and want to put all the blame here. Let's look at the picture. You see stacks on stacks of alternate arts, Espeon, Inteleon, Mew, and Gengar. Then tons of stacks of rainbow rares. Just an insane amount of rainbow rares. Didn't this guy know no one likes rainbow rares? A couple stacks of gold training courts, and a few boxes full of cards we can't really tell what they might contain. Let's go back to the alt arts. My best guess is these stacks are about 200 cards each for the full stacks. So I'm thinking 600 Inteleon, 400 Mew, 500 Gengar, and 500 Espeon. So let's call it 2,000 alt arts. Let's give alt arts a reasonable 1 in 400 pack ratio. It's probably worse, but I think that's fair for estimating how this could have impacted you. It might be twice that, but we're being conservative. 2,000 cards, 400 packs for 1. 800,000 packs to hit all of these. Divide that by 36 for a booster box. That's 22,222 booster boxes that could have been impacted. Could have been, but we'll get to that in a minute. Pokemon said they made 9 billion cards in 2021. That's in every country, every language. So let's say 4 billion cards were English. Is that reasonable? 4 billion cards, 10 cards a pack, 36 packs a booster box. Let's call it 12 million booster boxes a year. If all 12 million booster boxes were Fusion Strike, 0.18% of the booster boxes could have been affected. But it wasn't only Fusion Strike printed out of those 4 billion cards. And cards don't only go into booster boxes. But for the sake of arguments, we're just using booster boxes as a way to represent the amount of packs impacted. Now, I would say maybe 1/3 of the cards were printed were probably Fusion Strike. But someone check all my math on this. So let's give it a conservative 0.1% of booster boxes were impacted. It's really no consolation for the 0.1% of buyers that could have gotten these booster boxes. And we're only really talking about the alt arts we can see. We haven't even counted everything else on the table and anything the guy didn't try to pawn on this day. But there's another side. Did these stolen cards even impact anything at all? They were likely taken from a warehouse location where they're all stacked together, well before being put into positions in a hopper or a sorter. So sure, perhaps they had no impact on packs, but I'm very skeptical, and here's why. I imagine Pokemon prints a certain amount of each of their sheets of Pokemon cards, and this is the beginning of the control process of distributing the wealth of mega hits. If 2,000 or more of those hits disappeared, are they going to print 2,000 more to make up for it? Would they even know they were gone before it was too late? I would say the sorter or shuffler that mixes all the rares would continue to get filled with whatever rares are on the shelf. A little of this, a little of that, but not these. I would think that the rare spot would still get the right distribution of rares. It's just that the rares have 2,000 less alt arts mixed in. So I would absolutely argue that given what we know, hits were likely impacted. This is all pure speculation though, much like everything around the Pokemon card process and hit distribution. They very well could have known they were missing, could have replaced them, we just don't know. Every set we're scrambling to see what pull rates are like on our own. Personally, I think Pokemon Co. should publish hit rates and stick to them with tight quality control around it. I think regulations around gambling and mystery boxes that continue to crop up, such as TikTok banning pack rips altogether, are going to force it on them someday, but who knows? People are furious about this, and I think rightfully so. Was it a massive impact in the grand scheme of things? Not really. But when everyone has collectively spent millions upon millions on Fusion Strike and always felt like something was off, it's not much of a consolation. Yes, there's another picture floating around too of Evolving Skies hits, but it's completely unrelated to the first picture. Theft is probably not rampant, but I'm sure it happens, and I'm not sure how it could possibly happen to this level. If this guy had been smarter about how he unloaded the cards, he would have never been caught. In this case, I'm sure it was easy to track back to him. Hopefully Pokemon Co. did catch him, but we'll never know probably. Also, hopefully Pokemon Co. will take notice that the community is up in arms and make a statement at some point. I'm sure they try to stay ahead of things like this, and maybe their purchase of Millennial Printing Group last year was based on issues just like this. Hopefully it doesn't sour everybody's opinion on Pokemon, and we still have a great time and can get back to having fun rips. So, what are your thoughts on the matter? Leave us a comment down below.